glad the Lord brought us back this way again to visit and to bring you an update on what He's doing over in Haiti and how He's letting us be part of it.
First of all, we want to thank you for being such faithful supporters of us and our ministry, and it is just a blessing to know that you all are helping, that you're obedient to the Lord in helping us and praying for us, and we're very thankful for that.
We just celebrated July 1st, the first year of the new ministry we have. The Lord had moved us out of the orphanage to work with street children and to work with young adults coming out of the orphanages. When they turn 18, the government rules and regulations to be put out in the streets. And I don't know, it's the same here probably. But over there it's a little tougher. Usually in the middle of the night where we'd have the pastor give a bag to the children and open the gates, and then they go out. If they have some kind of a relative, they can possibly get help. And if not, it's a tough place. We don't have McDonald's or little jobs and stuff like that. And so usually a lot of people get in trouble and stuff if they're not really grounded in the Lord. So for the past couple of years, we've been praying for the Lord to send somebody to do this job, and nobody ever showed up. One day we realized God was speaking to our hearts, so we started this new ministry. It's called
The home is Sing a New Song Transition Home.
And we're under Afire International. We have 5 boys and 1 girl in the home right now. And we got them all in school. They're all doing very good. We see God is working in their lives very well. Some of the children came in off the street, had been in orphanages before, and lived on the streets when they was put out, and they was really having a real hard time. One of our children, Evans, he'd been on the street for a couple of years, and when you come out of the orphanage, you can't, if somebody doesn't help you, your school's finished. Well, he was a really smart kid, so when he come into our home this first year that we've been here, he was first in his class in school for the whole year. So he's a very educated young man, but he had no opportunity, and without us starting this organization, he would have just been left to the streets. We have 5 children that they're all in the higher grades. And in Haiti, when you go to school, if you're an orphan or you've never been to school and you go to an orphanage, you might start in 1st grade. And you might be 10 years old or 15 years old. You've just never been to school, so you start in 1st grade with all the other children. So our children that's under us, we're on a 4-year program to finish school and to teach them the basics of living in a home, because in an orphanage it's structured to where somebody watches over you. There's no home life. So we're teaching them to love. We're helping them with all the basic things they'll need for their families in the future. They take care of all their own duties. They do the dishes, clean the house, all the things any child should do, but they've never done that living in an orphanage. So we're putting a whole lot into them on teaching them up. We also work with a lot of other things that's going on. Miss Karen, she teaches English classes in our garage. About 100 people per class. We think next year they're probably, in the fall when we get back, it looks like about 500 people is going to show up, so she's going to have to do a 3rd class.
I'm not an English teacher, but I'm not a teacher at all, really. But God has just blessed me with the ability to help these Haitian people, and we have young kids and older adults who just want to learn. They want to learn the language. They want to better themselves, and so they come, and 1 day a week I give them lessons and test them, and at the end of the the time I give them a diploma if they pass the class. So it's actually like a classroom activity thing. But like Ron said, this next time, when we go back in October, we'll be probably doing 3 classes, which will be one at beginning class and an advanced class, and then one that's even more advanced, because we'll have more students who know the language a little better and want to advance even more. So that's very exciting and very scary.
What you didn't tell you, there's also pastors that come for 2 or 3 hours away on motorcycles to come to this class to learn to speak English. We don't charge nothing. We usually give them a book to start with and the pencils and papers, and after that they have to take care of their own. We have teachers coming from our children's school. The headmaster of the school found out about our class and everything that's going on, so he's got 20 spots saved for teachers to come from the school, English teachers, to come to learn English. We also have a partnership with a little school that was in the neighborhood. God just kind of brought us all together. It had started about the same time we started our mission. And these men have such great big hearts for all these children that can never go to school because they have no shoes or clothes to go to school or a few dollars to pay. And we met up with each other, and we seen all the stuff that God was doing through them. On Saturday mornings, they have like 200 children that come in the morning, and they minister through helping them with their schooling, teaching them the Bible, teaching them just the basic things of life to live better. And in the afternoon, they minister to the children on Saturday, or young girls on Saturday. There's about 100 girls that come from the age about 12, 13 to about 22, 23 years old. And they teach them cooking, how to be good mothers, do teach them the Bibles, the biggest thing in the school that brought us to it. And also on Monday night, Miss Karen does Bible study with about 50 to 80 girls from the school. And they came to us asking, can you help teach us the Bible? Because the way they teach there, even in church, it's usually Psalms and Proverbs. They don't go any deeper into the Bible. So she's been doing that.
That is truly a blessing to get to know these girls and their hearts, and they have such most of them have a huge desire to learn the Bible, and a lot of them just want fellowship and love, a sense of belonging somewhere, because they don't get that in their home life. And so after Bible study every Monday night, we feed them, we give them a sandwich and some chips and a drink or something, and just have a little time of fellowship with them, which is a blessing for us and for them. So there's a lot of things going on. Since we left the mission, Hope Vision Ministry, God just continues to open doors for our ministry to expand. We have a couple of churches that we are involved with a little bit. We do VBSs with them. We help them with making benches for them, and just different things that we can help with, feeding programs. We like to be able to take rice and beans to the church, we usually just give the pastor some money and he buys the rice and beans, and they cook the food for a meal on Sunday morning after church for everybody really in the whole neighborhood. People come from all over the place when there's food, so we have been blessed to be able to do that several times since we've had this ministry. We've been able to feed the kids in the school several times with rice and beans and with sandwiches and things like that. So God is using a lot of different avenues to reach the Haitian people there through what we are able to do.
We also work with the church up in the mountains. It's a good 4-hour walk after you get off the motorcycles, and ride motorcycles for a couple hours to get there. And you have to walk across, about 5 rivers, and that's across a few mountains. It's a very good little village. A pastor started it a long time ago. When you see our brochures out here that we left, you'll look through it, and you'll see it's Farm Phillip, where the building's falling down. Last time I was there, I leaned against the front of the church, and I thought the whole wall was going to fall in. So I actually took a helmet to tie up to the post in the church to sleep in, but I realized I wouldn't hold up the hammock, so I sleep in the mud floor when I go there with the other people that come there. But it's a growing little church. Last time I was up there, we seen a 12-year-old boy gave his life to the Lord. He got baptized, and an 80-year-old woman. And there's 5 couples that want to get married, but they don't have a ring. You have to, it's a culture thing. If you don't have a ring, you just can't get married, even if they don't have a dress. And usually you can borrow a dress from a relative or somebody somewhere. But one of my jobs coming home is to find some little cheap silver rings or something for them ladies and men to get married. But we see God working in this village. It is very dark up there. There's actually one woman I met. She has 3 demons living in her, and everybody knows this. They even have names, and then people try to exorcise them. That's not the right word. Out of them. So the darkness is real. When you read your Bible, all the stuff about the demons and all that is real. I mean, we touch against a lot of that living over there sometimes. So we do see those things. On Friday night, we have a movie night for the children in the neighborhood. I do cartoons or whatever I can find that doesn't have bad stuff in it. And we usually have about 50 children show up. A few adults come to watch over them and get them home. We have to take them back to the town with flashlights and all and take them home so they're safe. And we usually give them chips or cookies if we got them, whatever available to us at the time. We make sure they have something to eat when they go home. And one evening, one of our boys, we see the call of Jesus on him. His name's Kenson. We had a little Bible study and right before the movie, and he come up and gave his testimony, which was a hard testimony. And when he got done, 2 little boys, he asked if anybody wanted to give their lives to Jesus, and 2 little boys came up. We prayed over them, and they gave their lives to the Lord. So you never know when you're speaking about God to anybody what will happen. A lot of people never hear; they don't want to hear, and God still speaks to their hearts. It's up to them to make a choice. Oh, God has been doing a lot of things that we've been able to be part of. There's pastors from little churches all over trying to get us to come visit them, and I'll tell you about the last one that came 2 or 3 days before we come. He lives in a place in the far, far west where there's no water. They have to walk a long way from his little village to get water. His church is under a shade tree. They have a little tarp that they use some. They teach the school is through this school, our church. He says he has about 100 children that haven't gone to investigate or we haven't gone to visit yet. But it's a place where the donkey ladies, they come out of the places where they make charcoal, and they'll walk all night long to get to our town. And in the way, there's a place that cuts off the main road that goes through the mountains because it's a little shorter. And halfway through there is where this little village is with this church, and donkey ladies come through there. So it's a very, very poor area. And we'll see what God does with this. If we're able to use them, it's always in the Lord's hands. Everything in our lives is in the Lord's hands. So sometimes He says yes, sometimes He says no, and sometimes He says wait. So we wait on the Lord on everything we do. Did I miss something?
I don't think so. We have brochures in the back. We would love for you all to take those. They have our website on there. You can follow us on Facebook at Sing a New Song Transition Home. And we have prayer cards also. We just really would be blessed for you to continue to pray for us and the work that God is doing in Haiti. There are a lot of Americans, a lot of other people in Haiti who are spreading the gospel, who are working, just giving everything for the people there. And it is a hard place, but God is there, and He loves those people just like He loves us. And we just continue to pray for them. One other thing, I don't know, for some reason I thought that you all had sent a mission team to Ecuador or somewhere, but anyway, we would love to have a team come to visit us, to work with us. If anybody feels called to serve on a mission trip, you can get a hold of us through our website or whatever, and we would be glad to talk to you all about that. It's a reasonable cost. It doesn't cost a lot. It's a fast trip, plane trip there and back, and God has blessed us with a beautiful home to live in, so we have plenty of room for teams to come and visit, and there's so much work that can be done there.
Our home is safe, we have clean water, clean food, and we have teams that come at different times, and we can give you names of the leaders and all, so if you want to come as an individual and meet up with the team, see which ones are coming to do what in different places, that there's always a possibility of that, because we have people that do that. And in March, we're going into we think we have a team coming to go to Fond Philip, and I've never had a team go there before. Last time I went, it poured down the rain and the water got real deep, but we were still able to get in and out. But we got a team coming in March with some younger people, and we're all hiking the mountains to this place. It's a pretty good hike, but God gives you the strength when you're doing His work and everything. So. And we thank you all for having us come visit and update you, and we just pray God's blessings upon your church. And if you keep God in front of you, you can never go wrong. And when bad times come, He's just testing you, strengthening you. He's going to use that in your life to help somebody else, because that's what He does with our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Just thinking there a minute ago, he said 2 hours of riding a motorbike and then a 4-hour walk. Is that what you said?
That's pretty close to it.
Can you imagine how much some people had to do to be able to get to church, and how we complain if the heat or the air's not quite right, or it's pouring down rain, or it's a little bit too hot or too cold outside. You're going to think I'm making this up, but I'm not. I remember some years ago, I had a pastor, a friend of mine, who said, I thought I'd heard every excuse in the book for not coming to church. He said, until I had one lady who used to come. She lived about 15 miles away, and he said she used to come on a regular basis. He said, and then she moved about 5 miles from the church, and he said, and she quit coming. And I'm thinking, you know, your third is as close now as you used to be, and yet you've come, so you went to go see her. And when he inquired, she said, Pastor, the truth of the matter is, it's too far to walk and it's too close to drive. Honest truth. And that's the thing, when Ron said that a minute ago, I thought, bless their hearts, and these people will ride 2 hours on a motorbike, and then we'll park that thing, and then walk 4 more hours just to be able to go to church. Can you imagine that? I want you to help me pray for them. We're going to pray right quick, but I want you to help me pray for them on a regular basis. And then I want you to pray about something. God was dealing with my heart while I was listening. I would really like to see us be able to work out something that we could take a mission team and go to Haiti. And it might even be something that, and I don't know how much it's going to cost, but let's just say for the sake of argument, I'm just throwing this out, okay? We're not in business meetings, so I'm not making up, you know. But let's just say, for instance, for the sake of argument, it costs $2,000 to make the trip. I'd like to see it might be something to where if 10 people wanted to go, the church could pay half, and then we could pay the other half. You know, in other words, like if you wanted to go, you pay $1,000, the church will pay $1,000, and we'll put you on the plane to get you to go down there. Because I'm going to tell you something, not only will it help them and it'll be a blessing to them, it'll change your life.
Amen.
It will definitely change your life. And I've said this so many times before, even from this pulpit. So many times our focus and our attention turns inward toward us. And we need to be able to turn our attention outward toward them who are lost without Christ. And so you help me pray about that. We're going to make that a matter of prayer together. And I'm going to be in contact with you because we're going to see if we can't get a team to come down there. And let me ask you a question, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but normally when you say a team comes, what's the number of folks that would normally do that?
You know, we've had just 2 come,
Mm-hmm.
and we're comfortable up to
I'll let you out a little early